Welcome to Micah Tech, ladies and gentlemen, where we talk about technology and spending money wisely. Today we're back with another video where we're going to be talking about iPadOS 18. Now, iPadOS 18 and iOS 18 are very similar. There's a lot of their features are shared between both devices. So if you have an iPad or if you have an iPhone, most of those will coincide for the most part, with the exception of a couple small features. We'll be focusing on 4 main points. We'll be focusing on Smart Script, we'll be focusing on customization, we'll be focusing on calculator, and then Apple Intelligence. Super excited to have you guys back, and let's get started. So, iPadOS 18, what's new, what's different? I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a pretty small update when it comes to iPad standards. There's not a lot of big changes that have come with iPadOS 18, but they're all incremental changes that if you look at the past updates, iPadOS 17, iPadOS 16, etc., it's starting to become its own ecosystem in a sense. It works as well as macOS in certain areas. Now, I know there are a lot of people that will argue with me in the comments on that, and I'm okay with that. But I believe that there's a use case for people who use iPads. And with iPadOS 18, it increases the argument for that use case. Let's start with customization. Customization is going to be a little bit different this time. For the first time ever in Apple's history, they're letting you put your icons wherever you want. I know, it's a miracle. One of the things you'll see here is when you click and hold on the screen, you can move an icon wherever you want on the screen. The first time we've ever been able to do that. All the Android boys and Android girls on the channel will be talking about how they've been able to do that for years, and so be it. That is the truth. But it's cool that it's finally here on iPad and on iPhone. One of the other really cool things, it's cool in idea, but not necessarily cool in how it functions currently, and that is the new customization for the actual screen. We go in here and we hit customize, we have a couple new options. We have automatic, which automatic basically changes the color of your icons and the tint of your lock screen or home screen based off of the time of day. So right now, it's still daytime, it's gonna be in light mode, or we can switch to dark mode, light mode by itself, or tinted. Now this is where I kind of have my hesitation or my trepidation per se, and that is that the tinting kind of looks like crap. It's gotten better since they've updated the beta over time, but it's kind of gross looking, if I'm going to be honest with you. The only things that seem to work really well are the widgets that Apple has put together, that are Apple widgets. They seem to actually tint better than normal third-party apps. So between you and me, I would say tinting is not for you. But if you want to go crazy, you got a couple different options here. You can do this slider here to choose the color, how dark, how light. You can also take the teardrop here and basically hover over a portion of your screen, which it looks like mine just decided to completely give up on me there. But you can basically hover over a portion of your screen, select the color on your background that you want to mimic your icons with. I think it's a cool idea. I just hope they improve the way that the tinting works, because right now it doesn't look great. In fact, if you've looked at my video on my iPhone 15 Pro Max, you'll notice that I've done my own custom icons because I'm still not a huge fan of the way that they look currently. From there, if we go into the Control Center, we've got a bunch of different options for Control Center. If you notice, there's now a plus icon in the top left corner here. If we hit plus, when we scroll down the Control Center, we can add all these different controls to our Control Center screen. So let's say, for instance, we wanted to make one control bigger. We can actually, if we grab on the bottom here, see if it'll work here. But the idea is that you have so much more control over what you can add to your Control Center. You've got accessibility features, you've got Apple Home, Apple Notes, YouTube, music, settings, whatever you want to put in your Control Center that is easiest for you, the things that you use the most often, you have that control, as well as resizing widgets and things of that like. It's a nice update that should have probably been done a long time ago, but it's a bonus to have on your iPad. But once again, this is also on iPhone, so this is not specific to iPad. From there, really, there's not a ton left to really go over besides the fact that you've got 3 sections now. You've got your music section, you've got your controls like AirDrop, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, things like that. And then you also have a whole other page that you can add controls to if you really want to have a million different controls. But overall, Control Center is just a little bit easier to use, but in my opinion, it's not a huge upgrade. It's something that should have been a long time ago. But that would probably be it for customization so far. Let's move on to the next point, which is going to be SmartScript. SmartScript with the Apple Pencil 2nd generation Apple Pencil Pro is a super useful tool. It is available on all iPads that I know of. You have to turn it on if you're on the beta. But when you turn it on, as you're writing, it will actually correct your handwriting in your style of writing, but it'll make it more legible. I've used this when I'm taking notes at church. I've used this when I'm taking notes at home or when I'm just jotting down notes just for fun. It's actually really cool. I've made a short about it. It's a really, really cool feature that I think is a small quality of life update for people who like to use the Apple Pencil and take notes with it. But overall, it's just one of those things that it's just a nice feature to have for an iPad, especially because, you know, it's a very note-driven type of device. Whether you have the Mini, the Pro, Air, whatever you may have, SmartScript is a win in my book. We move on to the next point number 3. We'll be talking about the calculator. Now this, in my opinion, is pretty awesome. The calculator is amazing, and I remember when I saw the demo for it at WWDC, my wife will tell you, I was like, whoa, that is crazy that it can do that. It's just like the idea of SmartScript, except when you're in your calculator, you have a new math notes section now where you can write equations in your handwriting, 2 + 2, 4 + 4, all the way up to variables, to where it will solve the problem for you in real time in your handwriting. For anybody who's in high school or middle school and has an iPad, I wish I was you, because it'll make math so much easier when you're practicing or when you're doing homework. It's a huge win for anybody who struggles with math. I was one of those guys. If I would have had this tool, I feel like math would have been a lot easier. Being able to write it out and watch it work itself out was pretty mesmerizing to me. And there's more to it than I can even really demo, because it can do really complex mathematical equations. I mean, you've seen the demo at WWDC where they do a graph that they're able to edit in real time with the math notes. It's a super cool feature. The final feature is going to be Apple Intelligence. Now, I made a short about this not too long ago, teasing Apple Intelligence finally coming out on iPad and iPhone. Just to preface, you have to have a iPhone 15 Pro or newer, Pro or Pro Max, or any M-powered Mac or iPad in order to use Apple Intelligence. Right now, in its current form, it's pretty dumbed down, but it still works, and I'll be honest, it's pretty cool. We really have three main features. The first feature is going to be Siri in the new UI.
To change your lock screen, first touch and hold the lock screen until Customize and X appear at the bottom of the screen. Second, tap Customize to make changes to an existing lock screen, or tap plus to create a new one. Third, choose a wallpaper, then tap the time to change the font, color, and style. Fourth, add widgets by tapping Add Widgets, or the date. And fifth, tap Done, then choose Set as Wallpaper Pair, or Customize Home.
Can't really understand context yet unless you're talking about system level operations like what's my storage, what's my battery health, things like that, that it knows because of your device information. But if you're trying to ask something that it's going to have to go to the web to, it's not really there yet. It's going to be a while before it gets to that level of context that was advertised at WWDC. The next thing for Apple Intelligence is going to be writing tools. Any Apple app, notes, texting, I believe emails, and on the Mail app specifically, you can go in, and when you finish writing out your script, you can select all, and you can do different types of writing prompts through Apple Intelligence. Concise, professional, friendly, summarized, things of that nature, to where it'll take what you've written, which you put that content together, and make it more snappy, or it'll proofread for you. It is awesome. I've used it to send a couple of emails where I just wanted to tweak a couple of things, and it didn't take away the goal of what I wanted to put in the email. It just made it a little bit better. It is a super cool tool that I'm super excited to see work with third-party apps as the third-party app developers continue to add Apple Intelligence into their platforms. But right now, it just works in Apple apps. The final feature of Apple Intelligence will be summarization, emails and texts. One of my favorite things about the new summarization feature, let me see if I can find one here for you. If we scroll down on my notifications here, if you look here, I've got a text from my mom. Instead of sending me the exact text and putting parentheses at the end because it's too long for it to be in the basically the view feature, it gives me a quick summary of what she's trying to say. And when I click on it, it will give me the full scope of what's being said. It's a super cool feature, and it also works with emails. So now when you pull up your email, you click summarize, it'll give you a quick 2 or 3 sentence explanation of this is what they're saying, this is what they want, bada bing, bada boom. Summarization really makes mail a huge, huge app versus other third-party mail apps like Outlook or Gmail. In fact, when I got iPadOS 18 and iOS 18.1 with Apple Intelligence, I switched all my inboxes over to mail, and I have not gone back, and I love it. Apple Intelligence is only going to get better with time, and on iPad, I think it's going to be even more useful than on iPhone, because I use my iPad for work, and that's when Apple Intelligence is going to be the most useful to me. Well, to conclude, guys, these are the 4 main things we've talked about. We talked about customization, we talked about SmartScript, we talked about Math Notes, and we talked about Apple Intelligence. There are more things to the iPadOS 18 update, but those are the biggest. Those are the ones that I think I'm most interested in. I think the ones that people will be playing around with the most. But my opinion of iPadOS 18 is it's a nice quality of life update, but it's nothing to write home about. None of the things they did really are iPad only related. Apple Intelligence is on the iPhone. Math Notes is on the iPhone. SmartScript is not on the iPhone because it's only something you can use with an Apple Pencil, so maybe you could give SmartScript that, but all of the customization options are also on iPhone. I'm not complaining, but it's a little disappointing compared to what we were hoping for, especially as a lot of users of iPads want to see the OS improve to more of a computer-like OS. I have my own opinions about that. I actually like it the way it is, but I think it's good for people to know what's included, and I wanted to wait to do this video until Apple Intelligence came out so you guys could see those features. But yeah, that's iPadOS 18. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for engaging. We're making steady progress on our subscriber count, view count. Please continue to engage, leave comments, share the videos. Don't forget about the giveaway. I post it in every description now. And let me know what you guys want to see next. You guys have a great day. Bye.